Hi guys, it's Kathy. So, while most people spend their Saturday nights out at the club or at a party, let's sit and watch some court videos instead. I don't know where you guys are in this world, but I'm up in Pennsylvania. So we didn't get a lot. We got snow today. And we're used to snow. I mean, most of us are used to snow. I mean, really, the last couple years, it hasn't really gotten that bad. But I grew up driving in the snow and playing in the snow and feet of snow, not a couple inches. Well, we got a couple inches tonight, and it's been a couple years, so everybody went crazy. Um, and nobody's out in the roads, and there's no eggs and milk and bread left in the stores. I had to work tonight. No one came in. We even closed early because there was no customers. Nobody wanted dinner and beer. So I came home and I mean my content is starting to pile up. So I'm gonna do a stream tonight instead of going out to the bar, which is probably closed because it snowed tonight. It isn't the snow that's the problem. It rained a lot, so that's just ice and sludge, and that's way more dangerous than snow. Snow is easy, but rainy, sleety, icy snow is hard. I hope you that most people watching aren't in ice and snow. I hope you're in nice warm weather. Though I don't mind the snow. I don't mind the cold weather. Let's see. We're gonna start with words. I don't know what the words are, and I don't know what they mean, but let's just start with words. Here we go. Arizona, I think.
All right, sir. You state your name for the judge?
And you're asking questions, right? And I won't even know, so I guess we're in a cartoon, but go ahead.
What is your name?
A weird one, by the way. Whatever you're gonna say is gonna scare me, so whatever becomes, no, seriously, I know what's behind whatever he's gonna say. So that needs to stop, and then everybody in the universe.
All right, so your name is Vincent, you're charged with aggravated assault. I've scheduled you for a date of 1/12 of 2024 at 3 o'clock p.m. You're charged with aggravated assault, and you have the right to remain silent, right to counsel, and right to trial. The preliminary hearing is scheduled for the 12th of January at 3 o'clock. Your release conditions are as follows. Obey all orders of the court. Do not commit any crimes. Notify the court immediately if your address changes. Do not leave the state of Arizona without permission of the court. Do not possess any firearms, and you're going to be held in custody on no bond because you have a prior case that is under review by the Superior Court. I'm going to assign you Ron DeBrigida as your attorney since you're remaining in custody on a felony. The only time you'll be able to be released is if you have an involuntary committal by the community bridges. Otherwise, you'll remain in custody until you speak with your attorney. The court date is 12th of January at 3 o'clock p.m. That'll be all. Have a good day, sir.
Okay. No idea what in the world just happened there. He said words, something about everybody in the universe, but then he stopped there, and I wanted to know what was going to happen to every single person in the universe. I guess we'll never know, because I don't get the court cases, the trials in Arizona. I can't find them. I can't find them. I'm trying though, guys. I'm trying. It's like this next court. I think it's in Minnesota. This next court's in Minnesota, and it's not on YouTube. So I have to catch a live stream when they put it online, not on YouTube. And unfortunately for all of us here, I caught it in the middle. I turned to this website in the middle, and I missed a lot of it. So all we're gonna get is 2 minutes of yelling, and that's it. So let's get to it.
Level 6 case at this point.
I don't know which one is which, sir.
Karen.
We will.
I do know that Judge Chittister said the subjects are neighbors, therefore the distance requirement is irrelevant.
We're not here to have a trial today, sir. I will see you on February 23rd at 10 o'clock. We are now done.
For what case, sir?
Both of them. Both cases, all of your cases in front of me. I will see you February 23rd at 10 o'clock. And with that, we're done for today, sir.
But I'm only represented on half of the cases. Is that correct?
As of right now, Mr. Shargaloff represents you in the level 6 case 64D02 2105 F6 4900.
May I speak, Your Honor?
Judge, if it relates to the F6 matter, actually as to both matters, I would advise him not to address the court any further.
Do it.
I would like to split the cases. Be represented by Mr. Shargaloff for the one that's 2.5 years old from March 27th of 2021.
He represents you in that case. The cases are split. I'm setting them on the same day. Perhaps Mr. Shargaloff can help give you some advice regarding all of your matters.
I don't believe that's true. The man has more work than he can handle,
All right,
and you
we're
keep
done.
giving him more.
We're done. We're adjourned.
Very good. Am I free to go, sir?
You are free.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a good day.
Okay, real quick. Let's step away from court real quick because crazy old lady just chatted in chat that the Steelers won, and they did.
On record for state of Indiana.
So let's logic this out like men logic things out, okay? Last week, the Miami Dolphins lost to the Ravens. This week, the Ravens lost to the Steelers. So that means the Steelers are better than Miami. And you can't dispute it, guys. I already said it online, so it must be true. Okay, sorry. I'm going back to my court. Okay, this guy. Can't remember what state. Oh, yeah, Indiana. This was Indiana, and I think I can get this case. I think I can in February. And you know I'm going to try hard. This guy, I can't remember what state we're in. Let's look.
And Your Honor, just to confirm, you said April 3rd at 1:30?
Yes, you'll get notification. You're welcome.
Oh, Michigan, right?
Any other announcements?
Your Honor, I do have one announcement. I'd be helpful if I could tell you what it is. Richard Jenkins, he's on the final plea calendar.
Okay.
I've had a fairly good interview with him today. I need to speak with the solicitor's office, Ms. Githia. Hopefully I'm not messing her name up too badly. So I would either ask for a continuance or placed on a trial calendar because he is not prepared to enter or change a plea. We do have an offer. We do have discovery.
It's the end of this video that's interesting.
And so what was the offer?
It was a diversion offer.
Okay. So if I place this on the jury trial calendar, are you all going to withdraw that diversion offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's the problem for your client because he has the opportunity to not have something on his record if he can make a decision today. But if he doesn't want to make a decision today, that offer is off the table. I'm happy to put it on a jury trial calendar, which he has the, as you know, the right to go on. But if it goes on that jury trial calendar,
Correct.
We will have a jury trial.
That makes sense, Your Honor.
Okay, so the diversion offer apparently will not be, it's being withdrawn, so there won't be a diversion offer. It's my understanding going forward. If he wants to have a jury trial, he can have a jury trial, but we will have a jury trial.
That's correct.
Okay.
He understands that, Judge. He's a 30-year veteran of the probation office of Fulton County, so he's very aware of how things work.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that he heard that from the court, and that everyone does have that right, and I'm happy to give to put that down. But we will have a jury trial. Will be upcoming in either March or April or May of this year.
Let me just say this, and without attempting to anger the court. I am innocent. I will plead not guilty, And I feel I'm hurt because I was accused of something as a man who's 70 years old, worked 30-some years as a probation officer, who, if my parents down in Louisiana, if you had to make a phone call, my parents gave you could make a phone call with a nickel. My parents told me, all of our sons, my mother and father, if you get in trouble one time, you can call us. They gave us a nickel. But if you rape somebody or rob somebody, tell them, Lord, we don't know you.
Mr. Jenkins, I'm going to be communicating with the solicitor's office and see if we can work on your case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. So, Mr. Jenkins, I'll just say you don't anger the court. I mean, it's everyone's right to have a jury trial, and I understand you're passionate about it. I just wanted to make sure that you heard from the court what the expectation would be, and you have your day. You'll have your day in court, but I just want to let you know that that day is going to come so that you can meet these charges.
Let me just say this. I think as an erudite person as you are, in Louisiana, we have remnants of Napoleonic law. And Napoleonic law, you're guilty until proven innocent.
Well, that's not the law here. So you have we'll set you down for the next jury trial count. I look forward to seeing you back at that time. Okay.
Did I don't. Okay, it looks fine now, so I'm going to press play again before he starts, because you'll miss the best part. I don't know why the stream froze right there, but here we go.
Yes, sir.
If I should want to measure the length of this courtroom from that wall to this wall with a regular tape, would I need some special permission to do that?
Probably so. I would imagine you would, but.
And who should I go to see that?
That I don't know. You have to.
It just looks like it's frozen. Fix it. I don't know why that happened again. My computer's fine. I wonder if it's the ice storms affecting YouTube. I don't know. Everything's fine here. Anyway, why? Why does he have to measure the courtroom? I do not understand one bit what his plans are. But from what I understand from that case, he's a probation officer. Not anymore. He was a probation officer for 30-some years. And I think this has something to do with inappropriateness with a minor. But I don't know, and we won't know it. And he said that the trial is going to be in February, March, or April, which doesn't really narrow it down for me. But you know, this is on YouTube, so I'll keep an eye on it.
Thomas Seeger appearing with my behalf of Mr. Smith. Date time set for a sentencing hearing in this matter. Mr. Smith, have you had a chance to go through the pre-sentence report and talk to Mr. Seeger about that?
Yeah.
Oh. And Mr. Seeger, are there any additional additions, deletions, or corrections?
No objections to scoring. I do.
Thank you. Mr. Ziegler, do the people have any additions, deletions, or corrections?
No, Your Honor.
Any changes to the scoring?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any victims that wish to address the court today?
No, Your Honor.
Anything on behalf of the people for allocution?
Your Honor, I think the PSI does a good job laying out the factual circumstances of this case. The defendant has a long history of criminal activity. In this case, it involved cashing multiple checks across 3 counties for which he was planning to do so. I don't see any redeeming qualities or features or mitigating factors in this case that would persuade the court to sentence on the lower end of the guidelines. I think prison is appropriate given his record and given his conduct. So for those reasons, Your Honor, I would ask the court to fashion sentence either in the mid or higher end of the guidelines that would send Mr. Smith back to prison so he can't continue to engage in this type of behavior.
Thank you, Mr. Seeger.
Your Honor, and Mr. Smith recognizes what he did was wrong. I think that when you're homeless and you're struggling financially, and Be that as it may, Your Honor, I don't think that he has prior criminal history. His prior criminal history. Guideline would range of 12 to 24 months, but the plea agreement also requires that he pay restitution. In as much as the reduced amount of restitution available required to be paid for.
It's hard to hear now, but he will talk soon.
Sent to prison for an extended period of time. Or makes it more difficult to pay towards his restitution. In fairness, he may not be paid immediately. To the extent that he's incarcerated, clearly he's not going to be able to pay it. So for those reasons, Your Honor, speaking with Mr. Smith, he indicated that he recognizes what he did was wrongful. He would like to have an opportunity to atone for some of his mistakes. So if the court feels that a prison sentence is warranted, I would just ask the court to put it at the lower end of the spectrum to allow him to work on paying his restitution figure, for which he had indicated he would maybe could take that.
Thank you. Anything that you wanted to say?
Yeah. I know I made poor judgment decisions, but I was misled into believe what I was doing was legal. You know, I had been just got out of prison, and you know, things had changed around me to where were different on the street for me from when I was in prison, because I had done 10 years, you know, so it sounded feasible to me that what this guy was talking about, that, you know, cashing checks for other people because they didn't have a card, by doing so, that I wasn't doing anything illegal. So I asked the guy, I says, you know, am I doing anything illegal here? And he goes, no, it's legal to do this, you know, and I believed him, you know, under full fashion of it. If I thought I was doing something illegal, I wouldn't have done it, sir. You know, I mean, I honestly was influenced and misguided in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I went ahead with it. And then, you know, then next thing you know, my sister's saying detective or state officer is looking for me. And I'm going, oh, no, you know, and it's
And so forth, which, as you know, is not good. Got many felonies on your history. You got 8 felonies and 13 misdemeanors, so you have a significant record. It's not a recent thing for you. Just looking at your past offenses, your first offense was all the way back in 1982, shoplifting, and also a charge of robbery back then. You've had a number over the years since then, over the last 30 years, you know, pretty consistent history of theft crimes, assault and type crimes. The only significant breaks in between convictions for you have been because you've been incarcerated. So, you know, maybe you didn't know what you were doing was wrong. I think given your history and your record, by now you should have a pretty good idea when something's off and when something's not. This isn't your first time around. So I think you should have known, or you did know, that what you were doing in this case was probably not above board. Just based on your past history alone, I can't accept that you were just this innocent person who had no idea what you were doing was wrong until the police started asking you. By this time, I think you've got a pretty good idea when something's above board and when it's not. At the very least, you should know not to just trust somebody and say, if they tell you it's okay, well, I'm just going to do it because this guy says it's okay. Again, with your history and your record, you've been around the block enough times to know that that's not a basis if you want to stay out of jail or prison, to not just go along with something. Based on your record, based on what happened in this case, I agree with Mr. Ziegler, the prosecutor. There really aren't any mitigating factors here. You're clearly somebody who's a lifelong criminal. You're clearly somebody who will continue to offend, no matter how many jail or prison sentences you get, which is 11 jail sentences, 8 prior prison sentences. So none of that has had any impact on your willingness to continue to engage in criminal activity. So I agree. At this point, the only thing we can do is get you out of circulation so you can't victimize anyone for as long as possible. The guidelines here call for a maximum sentence of up to 24 months, and I think that's appropriate given what happened in this case and given your past history. So the court is going to sentence you to 24 months in the Michigan Department of Corrections to 14 years. You do have credit for 143 days served. The court is going to order restitution in the amount of $5,720. That's payable to the Kalkaska County Clerk to be dispersed to, I believe, Huntington Bank. Crime victims assessment of $130, court costs of $325, attorney fees of $350, and estate cost of $68. You do have the ability to appeal the sentence. Terry, if we can grab those appellate rights. Mr. Smith, these papers are going to explain to you what your appellate rates are, as well as how to request the court appointment order to help you with.
The judge believed him as much as we did.
For the record, remanded to the custody of the state.
Thank you, sir.
I just didn't know that cashing checks for other people was illegal. How was I supposed to know? I don't know why it's freezing. Everything's fine here. I wonder if it's the ice and the snow. But anyway, I'm gonna do a little bit more. See if we can struggle through this together. Let's try to guess ahead of time how this next judge is gonna roll. We'll see.
Last name CHRISTIAN, first name SAMANTHA. Anyone with that first or last name in our virtual courtroom with that person, please state their full name.
Unmute.
Samantha Jo Christian.
And we have multiple bench warrants. Counsel will start with this one first. File number 2017-1420. The bench warrant indicates that she failed to appear for a pretrial hearing on December 11th at 9:30 in front of Judge Hoffman. And this is the 6th failure to appear warrant we've done for her. Why did she not show up to court, counsel?
There are a number of things that are jotted down here, but 6 FTAs is very excessive, Your Honor.
And he's been in and out of the hospital. I'm outside of the hospital right now in the car.
Okay.
Because he's having
Miss Christensen, you know, I'm really sorry about your child. I am. But ma'am, these cases, you have so many failure to appears. I'm sorry about your child, but
I know, Your Honor.
Unreal. This is unreal. So you can stop talking, ma'am. Just stop talking, because I know basically you're going to give me a whole lot of excuses, but with these types of cases and the number, there are so many bench warrants for you for not attending. And I don't even know what your excuses are for not attending in 2021 and 19, 18, 17. That's how far back it goes. In 2020, early 2023, early 20, early 16.
There's no reason for me to be missing these court dates. And that's why I'm trying to get all of this stuff taken care of, because I have 7 kids. There's no reason I'm a stay-at-home mom. There's no reason I should be missing court like this and have to risk going to jail and losing my kids because I won't show up to court. So now I have...
Well, ma'am, like I said, you can stop talking because your history just shows something differently. So just stop talking. We also have counsel. We have on file number 2017-1420, as indicated, there are so many failure to appears on this file. We run one where she didn't show up on December 5th. Multiple bench warrants issued on that file. We have file number 0811685C, multiple bench warrants. She came in, we recalled bench warrants, more bench warrants. These are from early December 2020, bench one, that's in Judge Fichtner. Some are in various courts here. We have file number 7325499, another bench warrant for a failure to appear for a pretrial in December. We have file number 2020401, another bench warrant, failure to appear in front of Judge Fichtner in December. We have file number 0812710, another bench warrant for a failure to appear, and this is back in November. This is November. Like I said, it just goes on and on. And Mr. White, anything you want me to know, because she's lost multiple bond monies, it's just, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's bewildering. Ma'am, he asked me to talk.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I do know, we know that she does have 7 children. That's a very busy life. And she has a lot of cases that she needs to keep track of. She doesn't keep track of any of them right now. But perhaps from this point forward, she'd be able to get her life in order and get these things taken care of. Because she is going to end up in jail if she doesn't show up. I mean, she's going to end up in jail. So, Your Honor, I just, she is a busy lady, there's no question, but there's a lot of failures to appear. We'd ask the court's mercy on this one and see if the court would extend to Miss Christian yet one more opportunity on each of these files.
And Counselor, on file number 2017, it looks like she still owes contempt money from December 3 of 2018, which, it's bad. On file number 2017-1420, on this bench warrant, where she failed to appear 6 times straight, court's going to assess bench warrant costs him out of $50 or 30 days jail. We're closed tomorrow for the holiday. This has to be paid on or before January 2 of 24. We will refer this back to Judge Hoffman, set a $10,000 personal recognizance bond. On that file, we have file number 23-2967, the 3 counts of truancy, and the date of the offenses on those. Looks like this is from this past school year, September through April, this past school year, a number of children listed on that. Bench warrant, dismissed, referred back. Of course, going to set a $5,000 personal recognizance bond, and it will be referred back. On file number 3543965. Bench warrant dismiss, refer back, set a $5,000 personal recognizance bond on ticket number 2020401 on the bench warrant. Bench warrant dismiss, referred back to Judge Fichtner, set a $5,000 personal recognizance bond. Ticket number 7325499. Bench warrant dismiss, referred back to Judge Fichtner, set a $5,000 personal recognizance bond on that one. And ticket number 0812710C. Bench warrant dismissed, referred back, set a $5,000 personal recognizance bond. And on file number 0811685, bench warrant dismiss, referred to Judge Fickner, set a fine.
That was shocking that that happened. That's crazy. She just missed all of that court. Oh my goodness. All right, this next one I might cut the middle out because the beginning and middle are nice and slow and quiet. It doesn't really get good until the last few minutes. It's 9 minutes long, so let's just see if I might bump it ahead a minute or two.
My name is Hameen Rahman Woods Blakely. Happy years.
A calling case prosecutor order number 24-00001 in the matter of Hameen Rahman Woods Blakely. Counsel appearance for the record.
Morning, Your Honor. Andrew Moggsy, P number 69568.
I forgot we had this defender. I think he's the defender, but he's like Eeyore. And everything he says is like slow and yeah, and he doesn't fight for the clients. He just lays it all out. Everything he just lays out. He's great.
Counsel, sir, would you please state your full name again for the record?
Sir, I apologize. This is Hameen Rahman Woods Blakely, sir.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, sir. Counsel, how would you like to proceed in this matter?
Waive formal reading. Client stands mute. Kindly enter a plea of not guilty at this time.
See?
In court, enter a plea of not guilty on your client's behalf. We'll grant court-appointed counsel in this matter as well. Counsel, if you like, you may address bond.
Judge, just to remind the court, this is the misdemeanor charge. He's employed, he works at a gas station, resides with his sister in Detroit. I'd ask you to consider a personal bond in this case.
Detective, what was the case you wanted to, this was not the case you wanted to address, is that?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to bump it ahead a little bit because it's a little boring for a minute or two.
Not totally sure where you're staying. Nevertheless, I did write that address down and your sister's phone number. Bond will be in the amount of 500 cash surety, no 10% in this matter. You are ordered not to have any contact with any CBS employees. You are not to return to CBS at 30900 Woodward Avenue in Royal Oak. You will not assault, beat, molest. You will listen. You will listen for now, and I'll get to you in a minute, okay? You will not assault, beat, molest, or in any way verbally harass, intimidate, or threaten any witnesses in this matter or any employees at CBS. You must personally appear for all court and permission of this court. If you change your address or phone number from the address you gave me, you need to make sure the court knows that immediately. Other than that, sir, do not wait, hold on a minute. I'm gonna give you a chance to talk, but you gotta let me finish. I'm gonna give you a chance to talk. So just relax a little bit, okay? I'll give you an opportunity to speak. So otherwise, pick up no new criminal offenses. I'm going to order that you refrain from using alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any medication. I am not going to order that you test for those things. I'm just ordering that you not use those things. Okay. Now, other than that, I'm gonna take your question. So just relax, and then I'll take your question. Do you understand your bond conditions? First of all, do you understand what I said?
Yeah, I
go ahead and answer that. You can answer that.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I said?
Kind of, because I don't have a job
Okay, hold on a minute. What is it you don't understand? I want to make sure you understand what I said, and then I'm going to take your question after that.
I got you. I got you clearly. You all right?
Okay, go ahead. Do you understand your bond conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, what is your question, sir?
I lost my arm in a car accident, man, and I've been struggling to get disability. The info is kind of false at the gate. Like, I don't have a legitimate job where I make a check. So I'm actually one of the poor. I'm one of the indigent. So I just feel like
this is what's going to happen. Okay, I got that. Let me tell you this. Because you're indigent, the court has granted you and will continue to grant you court-appointed counsel. You do have another court date coming up. When you have that next court date, you will have an attorney representing you. That date is going to come up very soon. So you'll have an opportunity let me finish. You'll have an opportunity to address bond at that court date also.
I don't have a means of making bond because I'm poor. So I'm saying, like, can I get a personal bond if possible? Because I don't have any money. I don't have no money. I only got one arm and I didn't get no Social Security. I just was asking, this is the first time misdemeanor in your township, and I'm sorry, I apologize. I was just asking, could you please grant me a PR bond? I don't have no money, man.
I'll tell you what I will do, sir. I will reduce the bond down from 500 cash surety to 300 cash surety. I will not address this bond again. Best of luck to you, sir.
I wanted to enter a plea guilty.
Best of luck to you, sir. I am done. Officer, I am done. Say that. I don't want you to say anything that's going to be damaging to you.
Does misdemeanor shit, bro? Gonna get you in jail for sticking deodorant, dog.
I'll explain it to you. Go ahead. Mr. Nowacek, Mr. Nowacek.
Pled guilty. I don't feel like go. I would have pled guilty. Just be quiet.
Vernon put his M&Ms away. That's horrible, Vernon. I'm so sorry. Maybe a little bit of child support case will make you feel better.
Okay, please unmute everybody. We're ready for this hearing.
Good morning, Mr. Sullivan.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
So, it's Mr. Spraggins in the Calhoun County Jail.
Mr. Spraggins, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges?
Yes, I do.
Court has appointed Mr. Sullivan to represent you in this matter. Have you had sufficient opportunity to Sullivan in preparation for this matter?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Mouton, you can proceed.
Okay. Your Honor, before the court is Revante Spraggins. This is currently an arrears only docket. Mr. Spraggins has a 0 support order. He should be paying $50 per month per guideline on this matter. And with service and processing fees, it's a total monthly obligation of $53.50. There has been no voluntary payments on this matter. This is the 5th show cause, 7th bench warrant, and he's had 4 previous findings of contempt. I did measure compliance over the last 12 months. Mr. Spraggins should have paid $642. He's paid nothing, so $642 is his shortfall. Total arrears on this docket are $51,181.39 through December 31st, 2023. On the 2017 docket, this is also an arrears only docket, and Mr. Spraggins has a 0 support order. He should be paying $50 per month towards his arrears, with $3.50 service and processing fees gives him a total monthly obligation of $53.50. There have been no voluntary payments made on this docket. This is the 4th show cause, 4th bench warrant, and he's had 2 previous findings of contempt. I also measured compliance on this docket over the last 12 months. Mr. Spraggins should have paid $642. He's paid nothing, so that is his shortfall. Total arrears on this docket are $5,357 through December 31st, 2023. Friend of the court would like to note that Mr. Spraggins was booked into Calhoun County Jail on December 23rd. So that would give him credit for 11 days. And he has had a prior 90-day jail sentence on May 8th, 2019 on both of these matters.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sullivan, do you contest or dispute any of the statements made by Ms. Mouton?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for Ms. Mouton?
I don't.
Okay, any proofs, Mr. Sullivan?
I'd like to make an offer of proof, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, the picture painted by Ms. Mouton is not good, admittedly, and those are facts that are not in dispute. And so there's not a lot you can do with that factually. So, but I would say that we're at the start of a new year is a good news. Mr. Spraggins has no felonies, no misdemeanors on his record. He is 31 years old. A negative is that he only went through the 11th grade, so that's somewhat limiting in his the ability to get some jobs are not available to him because of that limitation. So I certainly encourage him to get his GED and then, you know, become equipped to get the better jobs. But in any event, there are a lot of jobs available out there, especially for somebody with no criminal history. I shared some names of jobs with him. He's at a bit of a disadvantage because he lost identification documents that he assures me he'll get upon release. And so what I'm suggesting, Your Honor, is starting the new year off on a good foot, let him out of jail with a credit for the time he served, give him a chance, set it for a compliance hearing in 90 days, with the expectation that in that period of time, he's going to have a full-time job with income withholding and a wage in which he can afford to live, pay his own bills, and still pay the child support orders, which are very doable orders. The amounts owed on a monthly basis compared to many other cases is very low. I think he can get the job done, and I think he realizes that he's at a crossroads in life where it's either keep going to jail or get a job with income withholding and move forward in his life in a more positive direction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Spraggins, what have you done in the last year to acquire employment?
I haven't done nothing.
And why is that?
I had lost my ID. Well, really, I ain't have an ID. I'm getting that. I should be able soon. I lost my birthday to job.
When did you lose those?
I lost that in like 2017, I believe, 18.
Yep.
But I haven't had the right address to be there for that long for me to even have a mailing address. So, but now I have a mailing address. So now I'm just waiting for it.
Anything else, Mr. Sullivan?
Yeah, one other comment to make, observation, is that one thing about Mr. Spraggins here in his information that he provided me and also to the court is he's very honest. He lost it in 2017. That's a long time ago. You ought to have replaced it by now, and he knows that, and he's paying the price by serving the last 2 holidays in jail. And he knows that he either fixes this immediately or he's going to be back.
His lawyer's trying as hard as he can,
Thank
but
you.
what can he do?
Ms. Mouton, I see we have someone else on, Ms. Russell. Is she involved? I didn't see her name.
She's
No?
not on these dockets, Your Honor. She's on my next hearing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. I thought it was this one.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Court will make the following finding in this case that Mr. Spraggins does have a very low support obligation, both cases, $53.50 per month. That in this particular matter, he has not made any voluntary payments. He has a sizable arrearage $51,000 in one case, $5,300 in the other case. Back in 2017. It's now been over 6 years and he's done nothing to acquire that. In the interim, when the court asked what he had done in the last year to acquire employment, honestly, he implied that or stated he had done nothing. And that's pretty much what's happening in this case, Mr. Spraggins, and you've done nothing. You've not acquired your GED to help you getting employment, done anything else as it relates to seeking out employment. And again, notwithstanding the fact of very low support obligation in these particular cases. What the court will find is that you failed or refused to comply. You've not exercised good faith attempt at compliance in this matter, and therefore the court will hold you in contempt of court. Anything, Mr. Sullivan, before sentencing?
Just reiterate the request that you release him today and give him a shot here.
Okay. Well, I understand. That makes sense, Mr. Sullivan. I appreciate your diligence in painting this matter as best you could. But again, Mr. Spraggins, obviously, he's had 4 prior contempts on the 2011 case, 2 prior contempts in the 17 case. He had already served 90 days in jail on both of those matters. Obviously, court has not done anything to bring him into compliance or to assist him in doing so in this matter. And it doesn't appear, based on his history, that he's going to change his behavior. So what the court's going to do is the court is going to, again, sentence him to 90 days in jail with credit for 11 days served. On the 2011 case, the court will allow him to purge himself of contempt by paying the sum of $1,000 in the.
All defense attorneys in this situation,
Stevens is the one with Russell, right?
they say the same
Correct.
thing each time. They say, well, judge, if you put him in jail, he's not going to get a job because he's in jail, so it's not going to help anybody. This attorney knew that this guy's not going to get a job if he gets out of jail. So he didn't even bother even trying to say that this time. He just said, oh, well. Oh, Roxanne, you're lucky. You got sleet and rain and not snow. All right, we got one more because it keeps freezing. Or I could keep going. But we're going back to that excellent judge. I can't remember where he is. Which state?
Second, failed to report.
Ohio, I
October
think.
24th, 31st, and November 7th. You understand that charge?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Margot at this time would waive her right to a final hearing and her pleas of guilty to all the violations.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
What's your plea to those allegations?
I'm sorry.
What is your plea to those allegations?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. So what are we doing here?
Well, I thought I would be strong enough to surround myself around the same people and the same home that I was living. Turns out I'm not. So my mother-in-law said I can move in with her in Cleveland, where I know nobody, and till I get on my feet and start fresh.
Well, how exactly are you going to get on your feet?
Get a job, get my car fixed, get my kids back, work on my sobriety. I know I can do it again.
How?
I've done it before.
Well, this case, is this still intervention?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I'm going to terminate the intervention. So you're now this case, you were put in JTP. Neocap, Oak House, opiate recovery, Nevaeh Ridge.
These are all her rehabs.
What else is there to do?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. That's why I'm asking you. What's going to be any different?
I was hoping for like IOP,
What's IOP?
outpatient
What is
treatment.
it? What is it? What do you do?
Go there 3 days a week, 4 days. Being sober and being able to live my life. Wow.
Okay, wasn't that a point? Wasn't that the point of all these other things?
Yes.
So why is this going to be any different?
Because I was hoping like to still live my life and get a job and still work on being so like IOP.
But isn't that what you were supposed to do before?
Yes.
Okay, so where are your kids now?
My stepmother has them.
Why?
My mother-in-law has them
Why?
because I use drugs
Okay,
and I'm in jail right now.
and so how are you going to get them back?
Work on my sobriety.
No, what do you have to do to get them back? I assume there's some sort of case plan that you have to execute. So what do you have to? What is the case plan?
He wants me to get a drug and alcohol assessment, a mental health assessment.
Okay, what's your mental health diagnosis? I don't know that you need a drug and alcohol assessment because clearly you have a drug and alcohol problem. I think the thing you need to do is to stop using drugs and alcohol.
Absolutely.
Okay, because when you went to JTP, did you pay attention to anything?
Yes. It was during COVID though, so it was like in 2 hours. It was on the TV, and it was all weird.
Okay, when did you go to Neocap?
2020.
When did you go to Oak House?
2020. You sentenced me that right after Neocap.
Okay, when did you go to? When did you do the opiate recovery?
Not sure what that is. The opiate recovery.
Vivitrol shot.
2020.
When did you go to Nevaeh Ridge?
2023.
Okay, what'd you learn at Nevaeh Ridge?
I found God again. I found God in my life again.
I don't know what that means.
I had a resentment towards them, and I thought they were pushing them onto me, but he's in my life again. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry.
When did you last use meth or cocaine or whatever the hell you use?
The beginning of November.
Okay, why?
Just put myself around the wrong people.
Huh?
Putting myself around the wrong people.
So when did you find God? Before that or after that?
Before that.
Okay, so what did that mean?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it means anything. I think it's just something you said because it sounds good.
No, that's.
Who were you hanging around that you used the cocaine?
Jimmy Pep, my brother Dylan Wargo, and Timothy Woodruff.
Okay, why were you hanging around?
Oh, they've lived with me at the time. Since.
Huh?
May.
You asking me or telling me?
Do you want me to comment?
Yeah.
She has been involved due to overdoses in the home. We've been involved since May of 2023. The case plan and the dependency charge and everything, that all went through on September 1st of this year.
So you had a dependency filing or a finding in September?
And the two children, yes.
And since the plan, since the finding, you've not complied with the case plan.
Yes.
Okay. Are we just wasting a whole bunch of time here?
Yes.
Trying not to. I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know that you put forth 1 ounce of effort since this whole thing started. Are you still wrapped up in believing that Jed Hupp didn't do anything wrong?
I mean,
Huh?
he's my husband.
Okay.
I don't.
Are you still wrapped up in the belief that he did nothing wrong?
No.
Okay. Because you were for a long time, right?
Yes.
If you still aren't, I don't know what to do about you. I don't know what to think about you. I think you think this is all a bunch of bullshit that you're just trying to fake your way through. That's what I think. I don't think you care one whit about this. You're trying to figure out how to get through this the easiest way possible. That's what you're trying to do. That's what you've been trying to do. You were put on intervention in 2020, and everybody's been sticking their neck out for you ever since then. And all you've been doing during the course of that is nothing. As a result, how old are your kids?
1 and 2.
As a result, you don't have your kids. And I see nothing in the foreseeable future that's going to get you your kids. And you don't seem to have much concern about that.
I absolutely do.
Okay, you absolutely don't. Or else you've been doing something about this. So when were they born, your kids?
December 2nd, 2021, November 17th, 2022.
Okay. So all the while you're using drugs, right? Right?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm stupid.
Well, I don't know that you're stupid or not selfish. What are you going to do to get your act together? You. Not me, not Mr. Matthews, not JFS, not your probation officer, not your mother-in-law, not your brother, not your friends. What are you going to do to get your act together?
Stick to myself, get a job, move in my mother-in-law.
Who's your brother-in-law?
Work with my Teresa Valentine.
Doesn't she have your kids?
Mm-hmm.
Does that comport with the case plan?
He said that was okay.
Okay. All right, so you've addressed where you're going to live, where you're going to work, and that you're going to be with your kids, which tells me nothing about addressing your drug and alcohol problem and whatever mental health problem you might or might not have.
Well, I told him I was going to put myself in IOP out there.
Okay. What good does it do to put yourself in IOP if you go to a program and stare at the wall? What good does it do?
I'm going to work on it this time.
Why didn't you work on it last time?
Just wasn't focused.
Why not?
There's so much other things going on in my head.
Like what?
Just learning how to be by myself again, being a single mother. Just basically being by myself.
Okay.
I'm not used to it.
Well, you better get used to it. Because that's reality. And stop wallowing in self-pity, because all you're doing is being selfish. And start worrying about what's going to happen to your 1 and 2-year-old while you're wallowing in your pity, being selfish. How long you been sitting in jail?
40 days.
What have you been doing?
In my head.
I don't care. Tell me what you've been doing for 40 days.
Just thinking about what I'm gonna do when I get out.
Which is get a job, move in with your mother-in-law.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because you told me that now 3 times. Did you try to figure out how you're going to succeed in your rehabilitation where you failed before? Did you give that any thought?
You know, I'm gonna just turn everybody out of my life, even if it has to be family. This bit of my life. Just focus on myself. And not worry about anybody else but myself and my kids. Put myself first because I have to work on myself. I wasn't really able to work on myself at Nevaeh because I had my kids with me, and it was a lot.
Well, let's not use them as a crutch because you didn't have them with you in jail treatment or NeoCap or Oak House, right?
They weren't born then.
Well, okay, so you had no reason not to work those programs except that you didn't want to. Right?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Matthews.
Your Honor, we would ask that Ms. Wargo be continued on community control. She does appear to have the rough outlines of a plan for her future. Hopefully at some point, she will address these issues as the court has instructed her, Your Honor. Thank you.
Is 40 the correct number of days, Ms. Randazzo?
It is. You never know what this judge is going to do. Sometimes he's harsh, and sometimes he's not harsh, and I didn't know what he was going to do here.
What do you perceive my role in this whole thing to be as you sit here now?
I don't understand.
What do you think I'm supposed to do now? What's my role in this whole process?
Determine what happens to me? I don't understand.
What's your role in this process?
I'm confused.
Okay.
When he takes this long, it's usually good news.
Did you get a license yet?
Yes.
Were you working?
Yes.
Where?
I was working at Transfer Express on Tyler Boulevard.
What's that?
It's a factory goes for t-shirts and
Put you on community control for 3 years, follow the recommendations.
He's letting her out.
No drugs or alcohol with screens. Go to only one doctor, one dentist, and one pharmacy for any prescription medication. Take your medication as prescribed, sign releases, at least 3 AAs a week, and a sponsor, full employment, pay the costs and fees. So you go out there and you do whatever you want. Okay, when you go get this dual diagnosis assessment, you give them as much or as little information as you want. Because nobody's there to hold your hand. If you want to be honest with them, they'll tailor a program to your needs, which you will have to follow. If you're dishonest with them, they'll give you a program tailored to what you told them your needs are, and you'll be unsuccessful. And your lack of success will lead you to never complete the case plan and not have your kids, and then eventually end up in prison. So you figure out what you want to do. Anything else that needs to be done?
Yes, Your Honor, the restitution order.
How much is it?
$10,958.35.
How much of that have you paid?
200.
10,958 and what?
35.
Why have you only paid 200 in 3.5, almost 4 years? Where's Atkins these days?
Who?
Atkins.
Sean Atkins?
Yeah.
He died in 2018,
From what?
an overdose.
An overdose.
Should have clued you in a little bit, huh? Yeah?
Yeah.
Didn't though. Restitution and the amount that's still owed. What do you use besides cocaine?
I was using fentanyl.
After Atkins died?
Yes.
You understand all the terms?
Yes.
Any question about the terms?
No.
Okay, if you violate, and I find you violated at the next probation violation hearing, then I'll send you to prison for 18 months. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, because you got enough chances here. And when you get out, you might be on post-release control for 2 years. The parole authority, if you violate, they could send you back to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. If it's a new felony, you could get an additional consecutive sentence for the violation, the maximum of which would be a greater of 12 months of the time you have left under post-release control. Anything else, Mr. Matthews?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Randazzo? This,
So both her and her husband, and I think a couple other members of her family and friends have been in front of him a couple times before, not just once or twice. So he knows them all, and he remembers her, and he remembers her husband and everything. But she did less than the last guy we watched with him, and he was way less harsh with her. I mean, the last guy, he throat punched every single time he opened his mouth, and this, he let her go easy. I was expecting more for her, but he let a lot of things slide. Could you imagine what would have happened to that last guy if he said he was doing meth after his friend died from an overdose? Oh, he would have murdered him. But he was nice to her. He was very nice to her. I don't know why. I think I have more, but everything keeps freezing. So I think I'm going to let this ice storm pass. And I work tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to try again tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. If not the next day, there's always the next day, right, guys? If you made it this long with all the sniffling and the screen freezing, thank you. Appreciate it. I hope you guys have a nice night. It's only 10:30 here, so I'm not going to tell you to go to bed tonight. You can stay up for a little bit longer tonight because it's the weekend. But don't do this on a school night. Thanks for coming out, guys.